PetroChina has officially joined the Oil and Gas Decarbonisation Charter. The charter was launched at COP28 last year in a bid to advance the industry's climate ambitions. PetroChina, which is part of the state-owned China National Petroleum Corporation, accounts for 3.5% of the world's oil production. The company is among more than 50 signatories to the charter, which now represents around 42% of global oil production. It's aimed at accelerating climate action, setting targets such as reaching net zero by 2050, eliminating methane emissions and investing in renewable energy. Well, let's talk now to Euan Nisbet, who's Emeritus Professor of Earth Sciences at Royal Holloway at the University of London. Welcome to the programme. Good to see you. So how significant is this move?
In global terms, it's a small move, but it's important. It's important because it does mean that big Chinese companies coming in and is going to try. And I think I very much hope that the rest of the industry comes in as well. I think it's the sign of a very hopeful change.
Is it, though, a commitment now on something that's actually due to happen years in the future? Is something like that worth having?
Yes and no. No, it's a commitment now. The companies that are committed to it, and many of the UK and European companies, and also in the US, are fairly heavily committed to it, are trying very hard to reduce things like flaring and leakage from, this is all from the production side of the industry. And it's making significant changes. And of course we can track the bigger leaks with satellites. So you can actually see what's going on, at least on the large scale. The small stuff you can't really see. You have to look at that locally. And so if China then comes in, it's going to help.
So tackling challenges like leakage and flaring that you mentioned are some things they want to try and deal with. But what are the bigger picture challenges facing the oil and gas industry to try and meet these targets?
The bigger picture challenge is the whole picture. We shouldn't be burning the stuff at all. But the whole world depends on it. That's where our food comes from. It's going to take us many decades to go off fossil fuels, especially coal. And so having steps like this is a very important starting point. China has its national methane plan, and I hope that's a beginning. So they need to do a lot more. But at least it's a start. The Global Methane Pledge, which is a global commitment, where it now has, I can't remember, 150, 160 signatories. Most countries have come in, and very much hoping that China will come into that as well. So it's a good time.
So more than half of global oil production, though, not signed up to this charter. 42% now is, but the remainder isn't. There's still quite a lot more to do.
Yeah, well, this will put a lot of pressure on the others. So, you know, if a company like PetroChina comes in, then it's putting huge pressure on the others to behave. So it's an excellent sign. So I'm seeing a glass half full rather than glass half empty. There are lots of people who are trying to stop it or just ignore it. One of these days, well, you can see the weather change is happening already. Climate change is here, and it's going to get a lot worse. So we need to do everything we can to make the global methane pledge work.
Professor Nisbet, great to talk to you today. Thank you for joining us. That's Euan Nisbet from Royal Holloway University of London.